Hello, living in vlog. I think it's the 4th, 11:50 or something. So now I'm 100% backing stuff up, and I realized I lost something else. I'm dealing with this problem where all of a sudden on my main computer, which is connected to my other computer, I have two Macs, but they're connected, so they always have the same folders. All of a sudden, I'm staring at an old version of a really big file. Yesterday, and this has happened a bunch of times like in the past, but now that I'm like paying attention, it's happening all the time. I looked at my Atlantis file and it was an old version. I opened it up and it was missing all this stuff. And I looked even on my backups and it was the old version. Luckily on the internet, they had, on my website, they had the new version. And then my atomic bombs fault folder got replaced by an old version all over the place, and all the places where I back it up, as well as my internet, my website, the internet. And I never made the link, but that actually wouldn't fix it because if the actual file gets replaced. So, and then there was this other project I was working on for 9 days, 4 months ago, where I was building the roads of Italy because I wanted to with the polygon. So instead of a line with the polygon, so you see the exact width of it, because now it gives you the perspective of when you zoom in really quick, you can see the width of the road. And then when you look off in the distance, you can see the width of the road going off, and then you can see how it undulates over the land. You make it hover a meter up, and then it looks like a nice road, like an actual road. It's way, way, way better than the line in terms of how it looks, because I was going to build all the battles of ancient Rome, and then the modern day roads. I would build all the ancient roads over the modern day roads, and then I built the line over it to know, the undulations, the information of it, because the polygon doesn't have it, so it's a combo between polygon and path tool, and it took me 9 days because I looked at my internet and it was 9 full days. So 18 hours a day for 9 days, 16 to 18 hours a day for 9 days. However many hours that is. And then I would have backed it up on all of my back places I could back it up. But as it turns out, when I open it up, voila, old version. Like really old version, like none of the polygon at all, anywhere, just gone. And then I looked at all of my external hard drives and cards and everything, and it was all the old version in my other computer. Old version, and I didn't, and like one of the external hard drives I never backed it up there because I saw really old stuff. So I called Apple. I blamed it on Apple uploading stuff to the cloud and then replacing it with an old version. That's all I could think of, because I'm not the kind of person who would keep some old version around. You delete it, you save over it. And but before that, I called Apple because I had some other problem. My solution was just forget about the documents folder, so that it would never do that again, and just store everything in the downloads. But I couldn't, because all of a sudden my computer with 500 gigabytes only had 4.7 gigabytes on it, even though there was only my website. But then it jumped up again, so I can try that again. But then I come to the, and then the other day I bought a 10 terabyte hard drive, and I'm backing stuff up on that actually right now as we speak, because it takes forever to put video up there. And then today came in the mail 4 32 gigabyte cards, and I should have bought more. So I filled those up today, all the way up. I couldn't get everything from the images, but I got all my KMZ and my website, and then today I just ordered on Amazon a 128 gigabyte card for $19. So maybe that'll come in tomorrow. I have a 512 gigabyte card here, but it won't open or format. I don't even really know where it came from, and then I backed up a couple of sticks I have, and so I have two external hard drives for this, and then another older one, and then the new one I bought. So I guess that's four. But I um, yeah, so that's like lost. So then I called Apple. Oh, this morning, and they gave me because I told them I couldn't open my Italy file because it got too big. It's 2.8 gigabytes, and it wouldn't open up my Google Earth. I mean, of Rome file either, which is 2.05 gigabytes, which I managed to upload to my server just because I have the space right now. I wrote them the other day, and they said, I think it was maybe last night or the night before last. I said, hey, I only have 20 gigabytes. I used up them all. Can I have more? And they said, yeah. They gave me 30. So I don't know. Maybe when I fill up 30, they'll give me more. But anyway, and I have maximum upload more than 2 gigabytes. So that's why this 2.05 gigabyte of the city of Rome is up there. But I have I was working on the country of Italy, and I think that's just all the information about all the tribes. But maybe I may have put the roads inside of that folder. I mean, it's not like me to do that, but 2.08 gigabytes is big, and I don't think, obviously, I didn't back up everything that's inside of that, and it wouldn't open. So I called Apple and asked them what the, you know, what the deal is. And I don't think she said she knew it hadn't heard of a problem like that. And I'm like, well, you can download it from your website and start to open it over there if you have a really good computer. Maybe it's just the quality of computer, because then maybe later I can get a better computer and know that I can fix it that way. But she goes, oh, we're not allowed to do that. So, but then she gave me the phone number of Google. So I called Google, but it was before they opened. And then I slept all day, went over to my mom's, and I called Google, but it was after they closed. So I'm only functionable. I only function when everybody else doesn't function. So I either call them like an hour before they open or like an hour after they close. So it takes me weeks to get contact with people, because I'm either asleep or I just don't think of it. Then all of a sudden I realize it, but it was like a half hour ago that they opened. Or all of a sudden I realize it, oh shit, an hour before they opened. So that's what happened twice today on both ends. Yeah, but then I researched like what else can you open KMZ files with, because that's what Google Earth makes the files in, and it said Photoshop. I'm like, Photoshop, because I have Photoshop. I have Photoshop, so I got the smallest file that I could find, just a simple castle, and I opened it up on Photoshop, and it's like, no, we can't open it. Can't parse the layers. So I'm like, okay, yeah, that's what I thought. So then I typed again, okay, so what do you do what other programs could open up, Google Earth KMZ files? And so it said, well, what you could do is you could unzip it. So I was like, okay, so what you do is you just change the suffix from KMZ to ZIP. So that's what I did, and then all of a sudden it had a different icon, like with the zipper on it. So I think I clicked right click extract or something, or double click extract. And so it extracted all of the images that were inside of that file, which was a lot, so that was cool. But then I tried to double click it, because now the file was much smaller. It said, instead of saying 2.058 gigabytes, maybe the whole thing was more like 2.08 gigabytes or something, but the files inside, like the images, were there, and I forgot how much gigabytes that was. But then I had a KMZ file in there that was called something else, like zip or unzipped, or something else. I can't remember, but I double clicked. But instead of saying 2.08 gigabytes, it said 446 gigabytes. So I'm like, oh, well, maybe this is the file just without the images. So I double clicked it, but it was just spinning around forever on Google Earth, because look, my tears are like all the way on the bottom. It spin around forever on Google Earth. So I was like, all right, I can't do this while I'm dragging, because I was dragging two things. One of them to my 10 terabyte hard drive, these images, these videos that take forever, they were like dragging right now when I was looking. And the other one to one of these cards, which drags really fast. I'm like, whoa. These little cards, like I got 32 gigabyte card. And yeah, I just fill them up within like 5 minutes. You can fill the entire thing up. And so then today I bought a 128 gigabyte card for $20. And I also have a 532 gigabyte little munchkin memory card. I don't know where it came from, but my computer can't even format it. It's like can't format or whatever. So maybe I'm going to stick it into my other computer. I have a 2015 Mac and a 2017 Mac. The 2015 Mac is the one I use now, so I'm going to stick it on the 2017 Mac and see if it can format it. If not, whatever, I'll leave it there, and maybe a computer in the future sometime can format it. I don't know, but yeah, I mean, if this 128 gigabyte card can fill up that fast, $20 card can fill up that fast. I'm like, fuck it. I might go crazy because I feel like just overreacting, you know, because I feel that's overreacting against me, like completely unreasonable assault against me for Google Earth to just over and over again replace my files. And then I lost 9 days of work, and that was the most tedious fucking work you could do. Like, go and watch 9 days of me vlogging for 9 days 4 months ago, being like, hey, I'm doing the worlds on Rome, and I'm probably like, this is mind-numbingly and this is crazy making, because you have to sit there and concentrate all day long tracing. I traced all of the roads throughout the entire country of Italy, all the ancient Roman roads, major and small, 20 minor, maybe like 12 major, stretching the entire city of Rome on modern day roads, matching the modern day roads with a polygon. So doing both sides, up and down, perfectly 7 meters of fucking part, right? So perfect, right on the road. And then on top of that, the path tool, so that you can know the data. Because I thought that because I was like, got into like super hardcore artistic for bike tourist mode, historian bike tours. That's why it took me 9 days of 18 hours a day, and I'm just totally concentrating there on my back, like tracing with my freaking shoulder, holding my arm straight with my moving around my shoulder, getting all good at it. It's all gone. And I would have, uploaded it obviously to my site. I would have backed it up to my external, which is always connected to my computer. What happened was it got replaced, and I didn't know that it was replaced, so then I used the replace all to replace everything else that I had, all my other backups. It's like a virus that went and infected everything. And so I blamed that on the cloud. So I called Apple again the second time. I'm like, hey, can you like help me retrieve something? Like it's Carbonite. I used to have Carbonite, but I'd stopped because I didn't want to spend the money. But now I'm like, no, I'm going to spend the money as soon as I'm done with this video. As soon as I get around to it, I'm going to have I put the wallet on my bed. I'm going to spend like $250 or whatever for 3 years to have Carbonite, because they can have like the timed stuff. So if there's something like, I had Carbonite before and it actually saved my ass before. But like if I had a Carbonite this time, because I knew the exact date because of my vlogs. I could have been like, hey, go back 4 months, grab this file from 4 months ago. Could have grabbed it. And then also with my vlogs, I could have known when I built the atomic bombs, because that's in I'll just go to my YouTube journal vlog channel, and then go to the search and click on atomic bomb, and it'll be like, oh, this day, okay. And then I go to that day and you retrieve the freaking file with Carbonite. So that's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna use Carbonite religiously now, and I'm not gonna trust Apple Cloud. It got to the really bad at one point because it kept replacing stuff on my computer from Apple Cloud, that I actually started retrieving stuff from Google Earth directly from my external hard drive at one point, all the time, because it was just kept replacing. And so I called him and he's like, I don't know what you were talking about. Like, all Apple Cloud does is back up what you have now. There is none of this retrieve from before. But what I forgot to tell him, and I think I'm going to call him again tomorrow, what I forgot to tell him is, well, then how come, as of like 3 days ago, every time you click on a folder, like whether it's a video or a KMZ Google Earth file, or to open it or to link to it with Google Earth, with Dreamweaver, or to open it for Google Earth or anything, how come it goes, hey, which version do you want? The one saved the last time you saved it, or the one the time before that you saved it? And it gives you the date, which is cool. It's like nice to know when the last time you saved it, but it's like, I didn't even know you had those. And so that guy's like full of shit when he's like, all we have is what you have now. No, you don't. You have at least 2 choices, because that's what I see that I have to choose from every time now, which as of a couple days ago. So I'm going to call tomorrow. But anyway, that's what they say. So they don't know what the hell I'm talking about. And it happened another time. This actually wasted like an entire day of my work the other day. Is I was going to go into my computer and fix the links, because I'm desperately trying to fix links before I keep losing stuff on my Google Earth of my City of Rome page. So I go in there and I'm fixing the links. I fix a few links, and then I go in and I wanted to get the stuff that I have for all of the different regions now. So I go in there and oh shit, brain fart. Oh yeah, and I'm like, copying and pasting it over, and I'm looking at them, and I'm like, this is the old. What's this? I could have sworn this, and then I was like, wait, no. And then I opened up Region 9, and sure enough, it's like totally basic, long ass time ago. I'm like, what the fuck? And so I look all over all of my different hard drives and cards and everything, and it's all the same file, right there. I open up, Italy, Rome, and inside Rome, Augustan regions, hello. And I'm like, okay. And I open it up, and it's old ass version from a long time ago, because I did like a month of work on it, like last year or whatever. And I'm all confused, and so then I spin. I'm like, oh shit. So I even resigned myself to thinking it was all lost. And this is a lot of work, like at least a month of work. All these different, like these buildings I saw that I didn't build, and even the theaters and stuff, which I half built. And I'm like, oh my God, I have to do that again? Holy shit. So then, but then I like dug inside of it some more on the Google Earth, and I found out that I actually moved them. I had moved them into this other folder called infrastructure, and it was just the first among infrastructure. And it was the new version that I have, so I'm like, okay, phew. But I'm like, where the hell did this old ass file of all of the 14 regions of Rome come from? All of a sudden, it's right there on my computer, in the middle, in my face, in the Roman file. There's no way in hell I would have allowed that to stay there. I delete stuff when it's old. So it must have like downloaded on its own from the fucking cloud, from another date back in the past. Was like, hey, I was here 5 years ago. Let's go there now. Bing. So that when I went to click on and be like, okay, so where's my Roman regions? I'm like, oh, right there, I got some regions. It's like, what? No, I would have deleted that. So then when I found out, I had to redo all the links of all the regions on my education page and then the City of Rome page in 2 different places, because I have to do the links again there because it's there in different folders, so the links work differently. But you can't just cut and paste the link. But so then I went into all of my different external hard drives and both of my computers and all the little cards, and I deleted that fucking folder that was in there. Hi, Augustine Regions, old version. I deleted them, delete, and made sure that the old new one was there. So anyway, but that was like a whew. But I still actually did lose all of the roads of ancient Rome and all of the atomic bombs over Italy, over Atlantis, and that's just recently. Like before I had lost. Well, and also the bike racers up exceed 4,000. I lost that 500 of them that I placed up, and then before I lost the Augustan Amachia, Canals of Babylon, Canals of China, Delphi, and then in terms of website, all the religions of the world. So yeah, now I'm like, okay, let's fucking overreact, and let's just buy. Who cares how far in debt I am? I'm like more in debt now than I was like 2 months ago, or 3 months ago. Just buy more. Like I have a 10 terabyte hard drive now, but then I saw they have a 12 terabyte hard drive for only $10 more. I got this for $196, and for $209, 13 bucks more, you can get 12 terabytes. So it's like, maybe I should just buy another external hard drive, and then buy like 6 more, like 128 gigabyte mini cards. When I get this mini card tomorrow, see, I live right next to an Amazon distribution center, so when I order something, by the time I wake up that day, it's already here, like at my doorstep, or at my door. Like my cards I ordered this morning, and they were at my door today, so I can just buy like a card, and if that card fills up quick, I can step it up a notch and try to get like a card that's even bigger than 128 gigabytes, like a 512 gigabyte or whatever, and see if that fills up. And if that fills up, maybe just invest a few $100s just in these little cards. Give my mom like a half dozen of them, and then keep like a dozen for myself or whatever, and then just like stick them all over my room and even my house. And you know, if my roommate comes over, my ex-roommate comes over, just kind of give him one and be like, hey, can you kind of like throw that somewhere? Hopefully you remember it. Just a place maybe you think you might remember it. And then maybe even go to my mom's house and stash a couple there. But I don't know. Anyway, and then whenever I like get to the point where it's all done, go and retrieve all those from their hiding places and then fill them up again, top them off, and then stick them around. And of course, when I'm done, I should probably put one in a vault, like in a bank vault. Rent a bank vault. I don't really have the money for that now, but I should. And then just keep lifetime membership for Carbonite, and also my server. I'm glad I'm with a reliable server that's on my side, because I'm breaking all their rules. You're only supposed to have, on Glowhost, you're only supposed to have 500 files. I have like 500 fucking million files. Who hell knows? You're only supposed to have like 100 gigs. I've got like, 100 megs. I've got like, they give me 30 gigs as of now. Maybe they'll give me more. I have to make my website look cool. Yeah, I shouldn't, man. I even have like a bandwidth limit. So I don't know, like if I get popular and people start downloading my website, I'll have to come to some new agreement with my server. I don't know how that works. And then of course, if they want money, I would have to start like asking for money, you know, just to keep the website going. But anyway, so maybe, hopefully, I don't want too many people to know about it now. So like if I have trolls who just start downloading shit off my website just to fuck me, I don't know how that works. Because I have like a file of Rome, the city of Rome, that's 2.05 gigabytes that you can download right now. Like I downloaded it the other day just to check. And I have this Italy file is that big, and I could upload that too and download it. But the problem is I can't open it. So I'm just gonna, as soon as I've done like backing up this stuff, I don't know when that'll be. See, my philosophy is if I lost 9 days of work, and I'm hoping to God that it's inside of my Italy file folder, and that's why it's so goddamn big, 2.08 gigabytes. I'm hoping it's in there, and then that means I get my 9 days back. But what was I saying? Oh yeah, if I just lost 9 days just like this, and that's just that one goddamn fucking folder. 1 day, 9 days just for that. There's another bunch of days for the atomic bombs over Atlantis and yada yada yada. Like I said, you could stack up the days. I had to build the Arizona Trail twice, so it took like 2 weeks. So you're talking like months. So anyways, if I lost 9 days of my life for that silly little thing where somehow the roads file of Rome got replaced with some old version from years ago, then I should spend 9 days of my life just backing stuff up, just sitting around all day long, making sure that everything's backed up, poking into every single folder and making sure they're all identical. Because with images, with video, you can't just drag and drop a whole bunch of stuff and it all goes in. Luckily, with the cards, with the Google Earth stuff, you can just drag it all in, and even video. Or for some reason, with this 10 terabyte hard drive, you have to do individual. Drag them individually, the videos. So, just backing up stuff all over the place. Just buying more and more cards and backing them up everywhere, and then and then going and spending it however long months, just backing up stuff and creating links to download on my website for all my Google Earth stuff, so that I don't keep making stuff and then it just evaporates. That's not what I want to do. I'm not one of these Tibetan monks who spends all my whole life making these sand paintings and then just letting the wind blow them away or blowing them away because I'm like crazy like that. Like, no, I want to save stuff. So how that happened because it's routine. Like the 14 regions of Rome got replaced. I managed to save my ass on that. The file of Atlantis got replaced. I managed to save my ass on that. The atomic bombs over Atlantis got replaced. I didn't save that. The roads over Rome got replaced. I didn't save that, and that was recently, 9 days. Yeah, I'm just in high gear now. It's like I'm at war now. I'm like, okay. But it was interesting because when I was in that spot where I thought that I lost all of Rome, I'm like, this is the ultimate nightmare. Like, what the fuck? But I was like, okay, so I actually got a peek into my character, because you never know how you're going to be until you're in that situation. I remember how I was thinking. I was like, all right, fuck this then. Just rebuild it. Like, this is my life then, because you're not going to take me down, motherfucker. I don't know how this happened, what kind of magic voodoo this is, but if this is my life, I guess I'm Job from the Bible. Like, I'll just keep building stuff. But then I found out that I didn't lose it. So I was like, okay, cool. But like, I found out a way. What I'm going to do to avoid that happening again is every single file gets named as its size. So I would be like roads and then 56.5 megabytes. So that, and then I would upload that to my server, and then I would link it that way. So that makes it way more time consuming, because the way that I was doing it before is that whenever I edit, a Google Earth file, because I'm just building Google Earth files. Like, I build this Google Earth file and then I upload it. I build this one over here and then I upload it. And that's what I was doing. I build a new one and then I upload it. And so all I have to do is upload it. And then it automatically gets updated on my website, because it's all the same file. I don't have to rebuild the files. But because of this problem, like, all of my goddamn files getting replaced by files from years ago, losing months and months of my work, those files actually get uploaded onto my website, because I upload stuff. I update and upload stuff. And I don't realize that I'm uploading an old file, because a lot of the stuff I upload like in mass, like in bulk, because there's so many of them. So then they just replace without me knowing. So from now on, when I upload stuff, I just have to constantly fix links on my website. So whenever I fix something on Google Earth and it gets bigger, I just rename it to a new file size. So now it's a new file. Like, to me, it's the same file because I could read it, but to the computer, it's a different file because it has a different size. So the computer can't tell. So if the computer wants to start playing games with me and replace my file with an old file, all it can do is replace it with itself. And it doesn't matter to me. You can't place it with version number like roads 15.5 megabytes, because 15.5 megabytes is different to you. You can't do that. There's Rome 59.7 megabytes is always going to be like that. Can't get replaced, because it's not Rome 59.5 megabytes and Rome 15 megabytes is the same, just because it's the same Rome. Now they have different names, but that means that my life gets way more time consuming, because every time I upload a new version, like an updated version of any one of my hundreds of files, thousands of files, I have to fix the link on my website now to link to that file, that size of file. And then I have to go on to I have to go on to the, with Dreamweaver, go on to my server and delete that old one off my server manually, so I don't overuse my space. So it's like way more time consuming, but it's necessary, because that's a goddamn trick. That's one of the tricks that Google has. Like, I used to think in the past, growing up, that you needed to back stuff up and in history because you would lose it, or because it would get corrupted, right? But now there's a whole new problem, that the file that you haven't seen for years replaces the modern file, just replaces it. So I came to an idea, like, don't let anything get on the cloud. People like talk about Big Brother and government, not trusting government. Well, keep everything on your local. That's how you would protect yourself Don't let anything get stored online, like, and maybe even your taxes and everything, and all of your data. Like, don't allow that whole clouds bullshit to happen, because they can fuck with you that way. And if you do use the cloud, don't trust it. Just have your own external hard drives that would store everything. And so, yeah, just don't get too plugged into the matrix, because then it'll just replace. It'll gaslight you. You'll get gaslighted into being a shell of yourself when you much more. Luckily, like, that 9 days wasn't actually necessary. That was just me being a perfectionist, because it looks way cooler. Because I built all the roads on top of Boulder County that way too, with the polygon tool, because it looks so much better. You just have it hover over 1 meter over, and it looks fucking awesome, because then you can put it over anything, and you can see the perspective of it. But it's actually not all that necessary for all the entire country of Italy. So I'm never going to build that again. Like, I will build the atomic bombs of Rome. I mean, over Atlantis. I will rebuild Delphi. I might rebuild the canals of Babylon and the canals of China. I might rebuild the pages of all the religions of the world, but I will definitely never ever rebuild the roads of Polygon on top of Italy. Like, that was the world's one and only chance for who knows how many hundreds of years to get Polygon of ancient Rome on top of modern day Italy, because I can't do that again. That took it out of me. I mean, you should see the 9 days of vlogging. At least I have the record of what I went through to build that, but it's all gone now, because I was a goddamn idiot and I didn't use fucking carbonite at that time, because I was being a chintz. I was being cheap on myself. So now I need to get back at myself and being like, all right, stop being a cheap. Just go back into debt, $10,000 into debt. Go maximize your debt, and buy a shitload of cards and external hard drives, and fill them all up, so that you don't have to deal with this again. Because one of those external hard drives I didn't even bother to use. It was like supposed to be the external hard drive on my other computer, because it was like, and I'm looking at it, I'm like, oh my God, for months I didn't even use it. So I'm like, oh my God, I've been way behind. I've not been taken seriously. I give myself like a D- in terms of backing stuff up, because I'm so anal and I'm so crazy about starting new stuff. So but I guess not all lost, because I can still try to open Italy. Like, I was building Italy, and all of a sudden I can't open it, because like the rules changed, the technology changed, and it like went back. And I was talking to the girl this morning, and she was saying, yeah, she had heard of people not being able to open up stuff on Google Earth on their Macs because of some problems. So she directed me through all these things, that I deleted all these little cache files, but it didn't work. So hopefully I'm just going to explore all the different other programs you can use to crack open a KMZ file. And actually I haven't tried this yet, because my computer's too busy dragging and dropping, but as soon as I can, it reduced the file size for Italy from 2.08 gigs to 446 gigs. So I'm gonna open it up, and hopefully those roads of Rome will be in there, and if they are, I get my 9 days back, but I don't think they will be, because it's not my personality to do that. I would have made that its own file, but 2.08 fucking gigabytes, like, who knows what's in there. So hopefully it's in there. Maybe it is hopefully it's my personality to do that. Actually, it is my personality to do that. It makes them that big, so hopefully it's in there. But yeah, man, gotta be careful, because this stuff gets replaced, and all the stuff that I have to rebuild. But luckily now I'm onto it before too much is going wrong. So that's what I'm up to. Yeah, I'm not really listening to anything. I went over to my mom's house this morning. She's like, it's too cold. I'm like, don't be a pussy. So I go over there, and it's all windy. I'm like, oh shit, I didn't bring enough clothes. I brought my like light jacket, and I get there, and then we have breakfast. We go out, and it's all windy and 32 degrees. I'm like, holy shit, too cold. So she's like, yeah, let's not do the hike. Like, it's really easy to talk my mom out of a hike, and I didn't want to. I was gonna get cold, so she gave me like one of these like thick jackets, and I rode home. So I basically went to my mom's house today, just for her to make me a nice omelet. But anyway, and I met her new tenant. She has a tenant there for like a month. But yeah, and then I was just up here all day long, just sitting around smoking weed. I'm gonna run out of weed. Like somebody said the other day, two months. They commented on my video, 2 ounces of weed isn't enough. I need to be doing more for better creativity. And I'm like, yeah. Now I'm like, you know what? I'll probably do like 2 or 3 ounces. I don't even give a fuck about getting out of debt now because you know, I've been buying so much that all I have to do is stop buying this and I can start to get out of debt again. I really need to invest in this stuff, this backing up stuff, like me not paying Carbonate. Like that could have saved everything. I could have saved all of it with Carbonate. So now I'm going to be a lifetime member of Carbonate. I haven't had the time to get my card out and do it, but I'm going to. Anyway, so that's enough. That's all I can remember of all the crazy little tricks. Last night's video, I did a video proving one of the tricks that fucking Google Earth does. Whereas I was showing, hey, look at this. When you change the name of this file, this huge file, and that was actually an old version before I even found the new one. That was an old version. You can download the new one now of one of the regions of Rome, Region 8. I was fucking around with the old ass 5-year-old version from my video yesterday because it was before I found the new one. It just popped up out of nowhere. It's unbelievable. So I had to go all over and delete it so that I could keep the new one. So yeah, I'm like 100% for organizing, backing up, organizing, making sure all the folders are the same, making sure there's nothing there that's redundant. It's like, and then if anything pops up, because now my memory is gonna have to get really good. I was telling this to my mom. I'm like, you know what? I'm gonna have to memorize my whole goddamn website now, because if any new file appears or is different size, well, now if the new file appears, now I see it double because now it's different size next to each other, and now I can bust it red-handed. I can be like, haha, I busted your ass, because I would never have 2 different sizes of the same folder next to each other. I've never seen that. The only time that would ever happen is because it just appeared from the cloud. So yeah, I'm gonna bust them on that, and that's another reason why I'm doing it like that. But if like all of a sudden like the folder looks different, you know, like you don't have the name, it's not in the same order. It's you know, like from before, because like I'm kind of changing the organization. Then I can, you know, know that something's out of place. And then also whenever I upload stuff, don't upload stuff in mass anymore. You have to make sure that it's the same size as the one it's bigger than the one online, and compare them and just do it meticulously like a fine-tooth comb whenever you do that. And yeah, and then it can't get away with like replacing itself with old ass versions. So that's what I'm up to. I think that's all I thought of. Anyways, hopefully I won't be talking about more stuff that I lost tomorrow, and I'll be talking about how I finally think that I have got it under control, and stuff is backed up everywhere, and now I'm like backing up stuff. Another thing that I was doing all day today with a lot of time was, because I had to do it twice, because I was renaming all these fucking folders. This is why I told you I lost like a day or 2 full days worth of work, because I'm getting into these old folders of the fucking Augustan regions of Rome, and I'm renaming the folders because I never got around to renaming them, because before I was using the numbers, but I wanted to find the key to this map I was using, but I could never find it. And I think I even wrote the guy, David Rumsey, Maps, never wrote me back, nobody knows. So I was like, all right, I won't use it by the numbers from the key of this map. I'll just name them based on where they are, and then I'll perfect it later from the Plattner and Ashby book and others. So I was just renaming them, like, you know, and organizing basically on the name, because I have to save individual files within the different regions of Rome onto my computer to be saved themselves, and then upload those themselves onto the internet so you can download them individually for, you know, to be a cooler website, but also for my own security, so it's all backed up better. And you can use up the entire 30 gigs. And then I'll ask him, I'll be like, only next time when I ask him, I'm going to send him a really good email. I'm going to send him a screen captures of my website. I'll have my website looking really good with all the links fixed, all the explanations on my website. And I'll be like, look, respectfully, can I have more gigs? You want to bump me up from 30 up to 40, or just give me whatever I need? Like, come on. You know, maybe I'll put like your logo. Oh yeah, that's what I'll do. I'll be like, hey, if I put your logo, because they're not charging me any extra for all this. I still pay the minimum, like whatever, $10 a month. I'll be like, if I put your logo up on the front page of my website, can I have like 100 gigs, you know? And then I can just back up everything, all the different levels of all my Google Earth files of all of history up there, rebuild everything I lost and have it all up for download. And then, you know, and then if they can't hook me up with like free like bandwidth, I can get, you know, turn into like a nonprofit or whatever and get money for rich people to pay for the bandwidth, because everybody loves my site. Or oh wait, I make money from the ads. Maybe but I don't think the ads are gonna make up for it. But that'd be interesting to come up with a little chart that finds out like how much money do I lose if every single person who goes to my website, instead of clicking on ads, they just go there and download all my Google Earth stuff. Anyway, yeah, that would need to be offset by a rich person. But because like I used like last month, because I noticed before the month expired, I used like 80% of my bandwidth. And that's not from other people. Nobody gives a shit about what I'm doing. The only person downloading stuff off Google Earth is me. That was just me downloading Google Earth files off my website, testing to make sure the links worked. And I used like 70% of my bandwidth. So yeah, that's gonna have to get resolved. But okay, so yeah, I guess that's all. Hopefully tomorrow it'll be a success story about how stuff is backing up. This like 10 terabyte hard drive just takes forever to back up these videos that I have. These are like videos I barely even remember making. These are like screen captures of Strava segments in Boulder. And I have like thousands of them where I turned them into videos. I could upload them to YouTube right now. I should. But, oh yeah, I'm not going to, because I was going to edit them first, to like fancy editing with Premiere, like with all the details, like layered with history and everything. So that's why, and I'm glad I'm not, because it's better to wait and upload stuff onto YouTube when it's just mind-blowingly elaborate, rather than upload, you know, here's this, oh wait, here's an update of the same video, oh wait, here's because you know, it's confusing, people burn out on it, it'll confuse me. Let's just wait, and then be like, look at that. So anyway, who cares how long it'll take? I'll be 5-10 more years, dude. I'll be 50, 60 before I finally get out of my house, and I'll barely be able to walk, and I'll be fucked. So I'll be like, yeah, Jabba the Hutt, just stay in my house. But it'll be an interesting journey to try and get back in shape, if that's even possible. Because age takes over. Like my mom's 80, she could be training all day long and never get any kind of shape, you know. Anyway, I don't want to talk about that. So that's enough talking. 43 minutes, my God. But it was 43 minutes because I was talking about all the goddamn tricks. And see, if you don't believe me about the tricks about Google Earth, like if you're like, how does Apple replace your new file with the old? Or maybe it's not even Apple. Maybe it's Google that's doing it. Maybe Google Earth somehow saves it and then pops it back up. If you're like, how am I supposed to believe you? Google does that weird stuff. And I'm like, well, you saw the video yesterday where I showed how if you change the name of a file, all of a sudden it reverts that 100 megabyte file into 1 kilobyte polygon shape, just because you shaped the name. I proved it. So if stuff like that happens, like imagine how many different ways it could like delete your files, rename them, reduce them, without you even knowing what's going on. Like I showed, all I did was rename it. Like how am I supposed to know if I rename something, it's going to reduce the size? It didn't say anything. It just reduced the size. And I proved yesterday. So, you know, all sorts of stuff. So that's why I need to just start backing up. And I feel like an idiot. I mean, I'm this old. I've been doing it this long. Why didn't I? And I spent money on other things like that bicycle. Why the hell wasn't I spending thousands of dollars on cards and sticks and external hard drives? Why did I have so much confidence in how I was doing it? But you know, but then again, I could have been backing up all those hard drives with this fucking virus file replacing everything because it got rid, you know. So anyways, now I have I've figured out every file next to the file has its size, So like that's what I'm doing. I'm like I'm renaming the names. Oh, and I had to do it twice because I renamed all the different files inside of the different Augustan regions. But then I found I was doing that with the old Augustan regions that appeared, so I had to delete all that. And so now I'm having to rename all the files again. So it's like deja vu. So I'm doing region 8 and I'm renaming all the different files and all the different images and stuff and buildings so that I can then copy and paste it onto my website, the City of Rome website, and then link those to those individual files and create those as their own individual Google Earth KMZ files. But I have to rename them first. So that's what I'm doing. But you know, I'm not doing it right now because I was too busy like backing stuff up on my external and actually, yeah, I don't like doing it anyway because I have to know what it is by zooming in, zooming out. And like when I'm dragging stuff with my computer just gets too slow. And if I do like this, like I'm looking at it, I click on it and I see this building. I'm like, I have to go into the building and see what building that is so I can know what to name it. So I do a little thing and I zoom in, and next thing I know, it goes all the way to ground level. And now I'm at ground level, and then it reappears, and it's the image, and you're standing around in the street of Rome, people walking around, you're like, oh my God. Okay, click out. Let me just go out. One thing out. And when it's finally done, you're like, I was 36,000 miles away from the Earth. The other time I was like 100,000 miles away. It's like, okay, it's just way too slow when it's trying to drag. So I just kind of gave up, and I'm like, let's just smoke weed, and I should get alcohol. Let's just smoke weed and like watch it drag and make sure that all the, you know, folders are the same and stuff, you know. That's like your full-time job now because I've lost way too much work for me to be like, I'm just, at this point, it's just stupid of me to build anything new because the more stuff I build, the more I lose. You know, the list of, it's like a tax. It's like the build tax. And this last thing, 9 full days of my life gone. And it was just 4 months ago. So in 4 months, so you have to wait that long. And I remember for a few weeks after that, I was freaked out. And I kept clicking on the file, like, that's the same file, good. It wasn't replaced, good. And I could have sworn I'd been backing it up, and I think I was backing it up. It's just that I did some mindless backup right after it got fucking replaced. And then on top of that, this guy at Apple, he's like, I don't know what you're talking about. We don't have anything about that. So I'm going to call him back again and ask him this other thing. I forgot what it was, but yeah. Anyways, and I'm going to call Google and be like, hey, is there any like way to crack open those files? Anyway, so that's what I'm up to. And if this thing that I do, the zip out thing, doesn't work, maybe I can use another program to open it up, and yeah, maybe it'll be there. So anyways, enough talking. Hopefully I will get a hold of myself and be able to start backing stuff up and not every day realizing something got replaced by an older file and disappeared and I lost it and all this stuff because, God damn it, like my worst nightmares would come through if it happened. So, yeah, wish me luck. All right, talk to you tomorrow.